Good afternoon, everyone. Today, I want to challenge you with one of the most dangerous myths in leadership culture. And that myth is this: that high performance is primarily a motivation problem. That if you're struggling mentally, if leadership feels heavier, if clarity feels inconsistent, if your energy crashes more frequently, you just simply need more discipline, more grit, more motivation. But after nearly 3 decades in high acuity clinical environments, I can tell you something with certainty. Most high performers are not under motivated. They are physiologically overloaded. And there's a massive difference between those two things. Because motivated people can still operate on depleted systems for a surprisingly long time, especially executives, founders, and leaders responsible for everyone else. That's why so many high performers normalize exhaustion, because they're still high functioning. They're still producing, leading meetings, solving problems, hitting deadlines. But internally, everything starts requiring more effort than it should. And this is where leadership capacity quietly begins to erode. Not dramatically, gradually. You become more reactive, your patience shortens, your emotional regulation weakens. Strategic thinking becomes harder. Creative problem solving decreases. You procrastinate on high level decisions because your brain is overloaded. And most leaders misinterpret these signals. They assume, I just need to push harder. But that's the exact opposite of what the nervous system needs, because you cannot outdiscipline a destabilized physiology. You cannot force clarity from an exhausted brain. And this is where leadership culture gets it wrong. We celebrate endurance. We reward overextension. We glorify constantly being available. But biologically, the human system was never designed for endless cognitive output without restoration. And eventually, the debt accumulates. I call this physiological debt. And physiological debt compounds quietly. It compounds with poor sleep, chronic stress compounds, blood sugar instability compounds, lack of recovery compounds, emotional overload compounds, and eventually the leader begins operating from a compensation state instead of capacity. Now, here's the dangerous part: most high performers can compensate extremely well. That's why nobody notices it at first, because the revenue still looks fine. They externally appear to be strong, but internally, you know you're feeling the drag, the mental heaviness, the increased effort, the reduced sharpness. And because you're still functioning, you normalize it. I've been there. I'm not just talking to you, I'm talking to myself. But I just want you to know something: that functioning is not the same as thriving cognitively. And this is why longevity must be reframed. Longevity is not simply about avoiding disease decades from now. That's incomplete. Longevity is about preserving the quality of the human system responsible for your leadership performance. Because every decision in your business flows through your nervous system first. Your brain is infrastructure. Your physiology is infrastructure. Your recovery capacity is infrastructure. And when leaders ignore that, decision quality declines long before outward collapse occurs. This is why I often say burnout is not the first sign of decline. It's the last, it's the loudest, it's the one everyone sees. But what leads up to that loud burnout episode or collapse is reduced capacity. Burnout just happens after prolonged compensation declines or fully degrades, actually. And high performers are especially vulnerable because they can override warning signals longer than most people. But eventually, biology collects the debt. And this is why recovery is not optional. Recovery isn't weakness or laziness. Recovery is strategic maintenance for executive performance. The highest performing leaders over the long term are rarely the people who simply work the hardest. They are the people who protected cognitive clarity the best. They understood that leadership is biological before it's behavioral. And once leaders understand that, everything changes. You stop asking, how can I push harder? And start asking, what systems protect my ability to think clearly under pressure? That's the better question, because sustained leadership is not built on endless output. It's built on sustainable capacity. I just want to thank everybody for being here today. And if you're a female leader, a mom, whether biologically or you just care for those in your surroundings, I just want to say happy belated Mother's Day to you. And that I'm one of those people that was in the throes of invisible burnout. I've had family members that did not recognize the sign until they were in late stage of burnout and in full cognitive and physiological collapse. This is why I come here live Monday through Friday. This is important to me. If I can impact one person to just think about what I'm saying and to redesign their recovery infrastructure, then I know that I made an impact. So that's all I have for you for today. I will see you tomorrow at 12:30.